This is WhistlinDiesel's Chieftain tank. Now let's take a look back at what it looked like when I first found it. It had been sitting on a farm in Ratlingthorpe, Shropshire in the UK for the last 20 years. And you might be wondering, why do so many farmers in the UK have tanks? And that was because in the early 90s, the MOD got rid of the Chieftains. So they all either got scrapped or sold. And they were in immaculate condition, war reserve condition, a lot of them. And you could pick them up for £1,500 to £2,000. So many farmers bought them as a bit of a toy. And over the years, when they broke, they just got left. And that's exactly what happened to this one. And funnily enough, I found it through TikTok of all places and managed to get hold of it and do a deal. And despite this one being left outside for over 30 years, and it was in a pretty scruffy condition, it was also not the worst. And me and Jack set about stripping it down the moment it landed at the yard. And this is back before I had a Foden. The original engine was a Mark 11, not the most powerful L60 in the world, but this one was removed because over the years the airbox had actually filled up with water, which then went into the supercharger, and then when the frosty weather happened, it then smashed the entire engine block to pieces. The little auxiliary engine was also seized up, so everything was in quite a state. Fortunately, I had a good gearbox and engine ready to go, which allowed us to get this Chieftain up and running again in under a week, which I thought was pretty good going. But that was the advantage of having good spares ready to drop straight in. I had the usual hassle with the electrics where corrosion had got inside some of the electrical boxes, which took several hours to sort out. It wasn't long before all the electrics and the engine and the gearbox was all working as it should.
We've got a fire extinguisher ready? No. Brilliant. Go on. Ready? Yeah.
It usually takes about an hour to fit the engine back inside a Chieftain and connect everything up and get it running, if everything goes to plan, which it often doesn't. Getting him running and driving wasn't too hard, but it took over 2 weeks to needle gun, weld up and sort everything out and get everything painted. That took the time, and it wasn't long before we took it to its first show. And a few weeks later, I'd meet Cody, aka Whistling Diesel, for the first time.
My excitement could not be contained any longer, and I was mowing and I was like, man, I'm just gonna get a ticket and go.
Oh.
We're just gonna go.
Oh.
They were like, where do you see yourself in the future? And I was like, I don't know, maybe like once we get far enough doing something with a tank.
What?
Yeah, that's not. A month till it ships? Or whenever the customs...
Yeah, I mean, I've got a fair bit to do. I've got to deactivate the gun and do a fair lot. But we can do that.
Wait, the gun's not deactivated yet?
Not for you. Deactivated for us.
What's the difference?
So for us, we have to weld, I'll show you in a minute inside.
There's a
we have
plug.
to weld a massive like 4-inch plug in the barrel right inside. But to go to America, which makes no to me, that isn't good enough. You have to gas a massive hole
And you gotta cut
inside the barrel, like, and then there's a bit of, basically when you put the shell in,
yeah, the
there's
thing
a
that holds
massive
it.
piece of metal
They
that
want
comes
you to
up.
cut that off.
You've got to cut all that off at the back.
Yeah.
And like you're talking about putting steel like that for it.
Yeah.
And I ain't doing it in the turret. So
Right.
I have to take that back of the gun off, which is probably weighs as much as that Jeep,
Yeah.
and then get it out of like the commander's
Yeah.
hatch.
I think it's
And
because
then
they know
gas
we're
it.
crazy enough
Well,
to
they
put
know.
it
yeah, yeah,
I would have.
But
Yeah.
then I'm
well,
going to leave it
well,
on the back decks for you, so you
Yeah.
can just weld the
yeah.
theoretically, if someone wanted to, they could.
Hypothetically.
I'm putting at me while I'm
if he's in
driving.
the tank, I'm not saying you guys are crazy, but I've watched your videos recently.
Yeah, he knew what we were gonna do already.
If you're sat in the seat and say you shoot the 50 cal there,
We probably wouldn't shoot the 50 first try. We'd probably like work up to it.
9mm and then both
Small arms.
But basically, when the bullet hits the metal, although it won't penetrate, it'll dent it and
Yeah.
then it'll fragmentate, and a bit of
Oh, I
fragment
gotcha.
will kill you. Well, we better teach you how to drive it, I think, then, shouldn't we?
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. All of them up.
You get a turret.
All four?
Yeah,
Five?
all of them, except that one.
That was so funny.
And then isolate it down there.
We're not putting in
Do what?
That isolate,
Yep.
that win, yeah. Turn that back as it
I
weighs.
expect to have it done by morning.
That'll turn the battery
Has
off.
to be spotless.
Then it never gets flat.
You literally flick like 7 switches to shut it off.
Like a flight
Dude, I hit what? I hit that one like clump of bushes, and dude, it went like right in my face, like caught right here. You kind of just duck and like hope it doesn't, like a big one doesn't hit. But yeah, like these were around my neck.
Later that day, things got slightly out of hand and the track fell off. But no matter.
Not the McDonald's.
I don't think it's
The recovery went long into the night and took a hell of a lot of doing. Everyone got involved and everyone helped, and by morning it was all back together and the track back on. At the start of this video, somebody asked what I actually thought of Whistling Diesel, having met him. And you'd think that I'd probably be upset because he came over smashed the tank up, ripped all the mud guards off, dented all the bin boxes, got it all covered in mud, and did a load of damage. But you got to remember, we enjoyed every minute of that. It was hell of an experience, and one that we'll probably never get to do again. But, you know, everything can be repaired. We like doing that. And we'd have to do that to then ship it out. We can't ship it with all this mud and stuff. And thanks to this tank, it actually was the start of me doing my YouTube. Without ever meeting Cody, I'd never be doing this channel, and everyone that watches regularly would never get to see what we're up to now, because we didn't film it beforehand. And he said a lot of things to me off camera, which I took on board, and it's pretty much thanks to him that I did actually start doing the YouTube channel. And I think I've got a lot to thank him for. Now, I'm someone that never watches TV, and I never used to watch YouTube. And I had actually never even seen any of his videos until 2 days before. So it just goes to show how things can change quite quickly. Off camera, it shouldn't be any surprise that actually he's quite a normal lad and very clever. And the whole purpose anybody goes onto YouTube is to be entertained. And now that we do videos every week, I realise just how hard it is to be entertaining all the time. And he does it, and it looks very easy. And I can tell you now, it definitely isn't. A few weeks later, we had the tank through the workshop, cleaned it back up, straightened everything out, repainted it, put the number plates on, made it all look lovely, cleaned it off best we can. And here we are, loading it up on the lorry on its way to America. Now, after Cody got it, he then did some other pretty cool stuff with it, which I'm not going to put on my video because I'm not stealing everyone's content. But he was actually the first person to make fully remote controlled full tank, and it was this one, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, the army did do a variant called the Crazy Horse, and it was a Chieftain, which was remote controlled, and that didn't actually have a gun on it, so technically, in my opinion, that doesn't count. This was the first tank to ever be made fully remote control, and that was something he did. And filming it from a helicopter was pretty cool. So it was good to be a part of it. And now he's done his videos, and people got all bent out of shape because he smashed it up again. He then actually fully restored it again and used it to launch his new alcohol brand, Alcolo. And it's all back up and running again, all mint. And yeah, we've helped him with parts and things, and I think he plans to keep it going. And he's had all the metalwork all measured in CAD with his mechanics, so everything can be replaced. And he's actually sent me the file so I can get stuff made through the CAD machine, so he's actually helped me as well. So yeah, all those people that are trying to say that he's just an idiot and he's wrecked it and whatever, he's actually not at all. He's restored it, and he's given me some files that will actually help restore other chieftains in the future. What people need to come to terms with is it's his tank, and he can do what he wants with it, and he has pretty much shown that he's done that. And actually, it's probably the most known chieftain tank in the world right now, and it's still running, so after all the hate and whatever, it's still going strong. Hope you've enjoyed the video on WhistlinDiesel's Chieftain. If you haven't, that's too bad. And as always, don't forget to dislike and unsubscribe, and we won't see you again in the next video. Cheers.